Good morning. Thank you for the opportunity to address you again. Over the past 10 years, I've watched this community blossom. I have watched young people move in increasing numbers. I have also watched this very council supporting the LRT B line more than 50 times in a row. I have seen development come to Hamilton because of it, and this has been a factor in encouraging me and others to take bigger risks, to hire more people, to focus my marketing efforts on finding more and more work in Hamilton. It's also making young people stay here and move here. I'm the father of teenagers, and I have the privilege of working every day with a wonderful staff of 11 people in their 20s and 30s. I'm constantly living and working with young people. These people are the future. They change culture, create new trends, and pursue an urban lifestyle that includes livability, walkability, affordability, and a rich cultural life. It is a fact that most young professionals choose quality of place over employment these days. Young people today are finding it difficult to enter the housing market, and they are choosing not to drive. They need and value good transit. High-quality, higher-order transit provides options for young people to live. These young people will have kids, use and start small businesses, inject money into the economy, build community, and thereby creating vibrancy all along the LRT route. And these young people are watching what is happening in places like Kitchener-Waterloo. They see the incredible success of an LRT system that has not even started running yet. And they will move if they see our competitors moving forward into the future, leaving us behind. Successful LRT is always extended. Once it reaches Eastgate Square and beyond, I could see downtown Stony Creek becoming one of the most desirable places to live in this city, but also a major destination, easily reached by transit. Similarly, as the LRT extends west past McMaster, Dundas will begin to experience similar benefits. These places will experience economic uplift to ensure that they will always be complete and healthy communities, providing housing options for all and enough density to support local business. But it will also offer the possibility of easily traveling into the city for work, shopping, or entertainment safely, comfortably, and without having to experience traffic or congestion issues. As the entire BLAST network grows, all communities will experience these benefits. A new culture, driven by our youth, will emerge. But this will never happen if we don't start now. People under 35 represent almost 30% of our population, yet in the recent poll, only 4% of the participants were under 35. 69% were over 55. What does that tell us? It tells us that older folks modestly oppose LRT. And that's not surprising. As someone in the over 55 category, I know that we become set in our ways, we become risk averse and resistant to change. The younger people who represent the future leadership in building our city, for all intents and purposes, were not even asked what they think. The business community and major institutions are imploring you to stay the course, because they believe in the future of this community. They know the necessity of attracting young, talented people to the city. They see a city where council has voted 52 times in a row to move forward with higher order transit. We have made investments, built businesses, created jobs, designed lives, and made business decisions because we are bolstered by this leadership that you have shown. We believe in this future. Reversing this leadership by rejecting an environmental assessment will likely kill higher order transit and derail this future. This will shake the very foundations of that belief for many. I can't begin to describe to you how demoralizing it would be to me and to the business community and to our young citizens if we kill this project now. Not because we won't get LRT, but it's because our faith in our leaders will be shaken. Please don't pull the rug out from under us now. Thank you.
Thank you, David. Councillor Whitehead.
Thanks, David. David? Oh, okay. Thanks very much. You're always eloquent and passionate about your belief. The first point I want to sort of address is there was an article, it's called the Rust Belt, and it talks about what is transpiring in Portland. Portland currently is suggested to be one of the, would you agree that's one of the most progressive cities in regards to transportation networks in North America?
Is that a question? Yeah. Do I know that? Yeah, I have seen that Portland is often used as an example.
So the data that they released indicates that the highest per capita unemployment in the United States of America of young, educated, professional people is in Portland, Oregon. So the point I think I want to make, or know I want to make, is that transit alone isn't the answer. Because if we lose sight of creating long-term jobs that pay, obviously well above living wage, you can create another problem for your community, and there has to be a balanced approach. Would you not agree with that?
I agree, absolutely.
And the other comment is, you've been following
Councillor,
the series.
not a comment. Let's stick to questions.
It's a question. There's an article in the series in the Spectator, and it's consistent with many reports that I read. And Chris Higgins indicated, and it was in a caption, that this is not about a net gain in regards to an uplift in the community, but it is about a redistribution of where that uplift will occur. Would you agree with his comments?
No, I wouldn't.
Thank you.
Thank you, Councillor. Councillor Green?
I appreciated the previous speaker's questions, and I would love to have David maybe expand on where he thinks the impacts and effects of uplift will occur as it relates to transit-oriented development.
Well, I don't think LRT is a silver bullet. I don't think it's the only thing that we need to do to build a city, but it is a very important component of building a healthy city is higher order transit. So I would expect, if we look at examples in the immediate area, Waterloo, for example, that the uplift and the increase in population would initially take place along the B line. But bolstered by that success, if we're like any other community, we will expand that system faster than we probably think we will now. And we will extend the B line and create the A line and create all of the other lines in the blast network so that that prosperity will be shared amongst all wards and all Hamiltonians and all geographic areas. That would be my expectation.
And I know through being on the planning committee, Madam Chair, through you, that we've seen now an uptick in developments to the core, particularly in Gore Park, but also eastward. If you can maybe speak anecdotally, based on your profession as an architect, are you seeing, because you did mention it, can you maybe speak to what some of those developments early on look like and the confidence of the business community and development community based on this project?
Well, for obvious reasons, I can't give specifics,
sure,
but I talk to a lot of developers, and I have been specifically targeting out-of-town developers as well as working with local developers because they are looking desperately for opportunity in Hamilton, and most of them tell me it's because of LRT. They see what's happened in Waterloo. Most of them are in the Waterloo region. They see what's happened there, and they want a piece of that action here.
On that particular point, because we've heard of some folks making the trip to Kitchener, and we've heard conflicting stories about the development. What specifically are you hearing about in Waterloo, and why is that important relevant to Hamilton?
I haven't heard conflicting stories. There's, the property values and the amount of transit-oriented development. I don't have the numbers at hand, sure, but there's hundreds of millions of dollars of transit-oriented development. And developers are telling me that they wouldn't have built that if it hadn't been for the permanent higher-order transit line. That's what I'm hearing.
Yeah, I perhaps shouldn't have mischaracterized it as conflicting. However, give it some time and we might hear some of that conflicting anecdotal evidence coming forward. But I do appreciate you being here, and thank you for providing those points of clarity.
Thank you, Councillor. Thank you, David. Our next delegate is John McGreal, followed by Ted Gill.